Question number 2. Pretty much the same thing as yesterday's number 1, only we've got different equations this time. So use your graphing calculator to complete the table for the equations. Then make a sketch of the graph on the coordinate plane provided. Alright, so once again we're going to type this into our calculator. So our first one, we're going to go to y equals, and we're going to type in exactly how it looks. So 1 divided by 2, end parenthesis, and then the exponent button to the x, and then press enter. So you should have 1/2 to the x, and then y2 is going to be 2, and then parenthesis 1 divided by 2, end parenthesis, exponent button, x. Perfect, so we've got our two equations. Then let's go second graph, and that should give us our table. And I scroll up a little bit, and I can now see the table that I need to fill in. So go ahead and fill in this table. On Socrative, I did ask you what are the numbers that go in this box and that box. So go ahead and make sure you do that one too. So go ahead and pause the video, and when you come back, I'll have my table filled out. Alright, so there's my table. Once again on Socrative, make sure you fill in what goes in those two spots on yours. Now we've got to graph these, so just go ahead and plot the points from the graph and then draw your lines. I'm going to use two different colors to help illustrate it. So I'm going to start out with -3, 8. 1, 2, 3. Right here. Then -2, 4. -1, 2. 0, 1. 1.5. 2.25. And then use my color. There we go, and there is my y1. So go ahead and do this for y2 also. Pause the video. When you come back, we can continue with the problem. Alright, perfect. There's the graph of y2, and if you look on the calculator, you can see it's very similar to what we have. So we know we did it correctly. Alright, question A. Compare the two equations. What are the similarities? What are the differences? Alright, so similarities, we've got it's decreasing. They're both decreasing. They're both exponential equations. Alright, so we got that they're both decreasing, they're both exponential. And then we do have a asymptote, but that's going to be the same also. Alright, differences. I think the obvious one is the y-intercept is different. And then the rate of decrease is going to be different. Alright, compare the y values in the table for the two exponential graphs. What do you notice about the values of y2 compared to the values of y1? So y2 is twice as many. It's twice as big as y1. So notice 16 is twice as big as 8, 8 is twice as big as 4, 4 is twice as big as 2, and 2 is twice as big as 1, and so on. Alright, compare the graphs. What do you notice? Very similar equations. It just looks like that the y2 is getting bigger a little bit faster. So like I said, y2 is getting bigger a little faster. Question D. Write the coordinates of the y-intercept and the equation of the asymptote for both equations. So looking at y1 again, what is our y-intercept? Well, I look at the blue graph. My y-intercept is right there at 0, 1. My asymptote is where it gets closer and closer but never hits, and that once again is going to be y equals 0. Notice that that's a very familiar answer for these types of graphs. Alright, go ahead and do y2 on Socrative. So you're going to tell me what the y-intercept is, and then you're going to tell me what the asymptote is. Notice, once again, it should be in this format, so parenthesis, number, comma, number, parenthesis, no spaces. And then your asymptote should be in an equation form, so there should be an equal sign, a letter, an equal sign, and then a number. So make sure you've got that also. All right. Go ahead and pause the video if you need to, and do that on Socrative. All right, question E. Without graphing, predict what the graph of y3 equals 4 times the 1/2 power will be. 1/2 to the x will look like. Check your prediction by graphing the equation on the graphing calculator. Sketch y3 on the graph above. All right, so once again, I can do these on Socrative. Oh, can't even see them. It's okay. Do these on Socrative. Okay. See if you can do those. Give me the y-intercept. Make sure it looks like it's in this type of notation. And then give me the asymptote. Make sure it's in this type of notation. You should be hopefully noticing a pattern about the asymptote and the y-intercept by now. So go ahead and give it your best shot. And question F. Compare your graphs for problem number 2 with those of problem number 1. How are they similar? How are they different? Go ahead and take a guess at this one, jot some stuff down, pause the video, and when you come back, we'll talk about some of the similarities and differences. All right, so I wrote for me that both graphs are very similar. If you notice, the asymptote is all the same. They never cross 0 or touch 0. But the major difference is that the number 1, so the one on the front side, is increasing, and the one on this side is decreasing. So that's the major difference. After you're done with this, go ahead and go on to number 3.